Hey guys, if you're a real estate agent who's struggling with what's going on in the market and the chaos, you need to pay attention right here. I'm going to give you 5 very specific ways that you can change-proof your business. My name's Todd Conklin. I built a real estate brokerage from 2 of us in the basement of our house to more than 500 agents, 6 states, 19 locations. And I now have one of the fastest growing real estate agent training companies in the world. And what I found is that every year something happens, like some craziness happens, and we are all sitting around going, oh my gosh, this is going to change everything. So what I did is I went back and I asked ChatGPT to tell me what the major changes over the last number of years have been. And so I wrote them down here. So just as a reminder that every year something happens, this year is no different. 2018, tariffs on building materials. Remember that? All of a sudden the cost of construction skyrocketed because of all these tariffs. And we were thinking to ourselves, oh my gosh, we're never going to be able to get anybody to build a house because we're never going to be able to sell it at that price. And if we can't get them to build houses, well, the real estate market's going to completely and totally take a dive. It's never going to, I should just get out of the business. In 2019, the Fed rate hikes multiple times drove the interest rates way up. Do you remember those conversations? It sounds pretty similar to the last couple of years, doesn't it? But it was happening before because it happens all the time, which is how they run the economy. But yet we talked about how that was a major, now the cost of living is too much and there's no way anybody's gonna be able to afford a house now. Oh boy, what are we gonna do? Well, less people are gonna buy homes, which means less people are gonna sell homes, the prices are gonna crash. I might as well get out of the business. Y'all, do you remember what happened on March 13th, 14th, 15th, right in there? The whole world came to a close, remember that? And we thought, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? Well, what happened after July? Was the craziest thing any of us have ever experienced in our lives. We've never seen a market like that. But yet we had some real reasons to be afraid. And hey, we could have quit. In fact, many agents did quit. They just quit a little bit too soon, right? All right, 2021. Remember the supply chain issues? We also had a labor challenge, if you remember. I remember because my payroll went up 22% in 1 year. So all of a sudden we had supply chain issues, which made it harder to build homes. Remember, it took 2 years to get a refrigerator. That was all, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do now? It costs more for us to actually get work done. Now we can't actually get the materials. So even if we wanna do a resale house, well, now what are we gonna do? Because we can't even get the dishwasher, refrigerator, washer, dryer, etc. I might as well get out of the business. The market's going to come to a crash. Well, it didn't. We all know what happened in 2021. And 2022 was the inflation surge. Inflation hit. Hey, guess what? The market did get impacted by inflation and rate hikes. But we thought the market was going to come back and there's all this chaos and everything. It didn't happen. And yet here we are, we're still going strong. And of course you've got 2023, which is the banking sector. Remember that whole stuff in the Silicon Valley where we were told that that was the first of many that was going to come crashing down and that was going to tank the entire banking system? It never happened. Somebody during that period of time thought to themselves, you know what, this is bad news. It's bad news for the economy. It's bad news for the banking. Nobody's going to be able to get a loan. I might as well get out of the business. So this is what happens each and every year. 2024 is no different. And so what I want to do is I want to talk you through the 5 types of salespeople that I've noticed and how you might be able to, number 1, identify yourself within this group and then change so that you become the person that you actually want to be, the one that you believe is change-proof, the one that is immune to many of these catastrophes that happen each and every year. All right, so number 1, there are order takers. Order takers are the people that sit back, they're probably sitting at the desk next to you right now, they're probably having a conversation about which football team, soccer team, baseball team they like, or something about fashion, or probably talking about somebody else around the water cooler, and they just get a phone call and that person says, hey, will you come list my home? Right? They're order takers. They're not doing any sales necessarily. Number 2 is the finder. Right? The finder is somebody who's pretty good at generating leads. Like they've got some kind of a weird innate skill that just they can pull leads out of nowhere. Maybe they're buying leads, maybe they're working with Zillow or Boomtown or anyway, Realtor or whatever. But they're pretty good at generating gobs and gobs of leads. But they never ever really seem to be able to convert those leads. That becomes a bit of a problem, right? Because buying leads and spending time and energy in generating the leads is great, only if you can turn it into some type of a return on investment. Then you've got number 3, which is the seller. The seller, I call them the tour guide. These are people that always seem to have like gobs of buyers and lots of listings, and they just don't get transactions done, right? Like they show lots and lots of properties. They're always so busy, but they just can't seem to get that consumer what it is that they're looking for. So, think of the buyers, and they've got like 25 buyers, and their funnel, their pipeline is full. They just can't ever get them over the hump. Then you've got closers. The closers, you can sort of see them, right? We call them the commission breath. They're always closing. Well, I was looking for a 4-bed. Well, don't you want to buy this? Well, but I was looking for a 4-bedroom, and you just showed me a 2-bedroom. Yeah, but this is a great investment. That's the closer, right? You know who I'm talking about. So they may or may not be good at finding leads. They're probably not great at touring properties for people and actually selling them on what it is that they're looking for. But boy, are they amazing at closing. They lean hard on scripts and dialogues, which is really, really valuable. I hope you are hearing me here. In each of the 4 that I just came through, there's something that was incredibly valuable, right? If you're a finder, like being able to generate leads is valuable, right? If you're an order taker, that means that you've done something proper to get the phone calls, right, and have that type of rapport. If you're a seller, that means that you're really good at showing and probably building the rapport with people. If you're a closer, it means you probably are really good with talk tracks and understanding that you're there to get a deal closed. But what I find is number 5 is the builder. And the builder understands that what they're really there for is to take the consumer's problem, whatever their problem is, identify clearly what it is, provide a variety of solutions for that problem, help them navigate through to pick the solution that is best for them, and then help execute on that solution. And part of that process inevitably will have something to do with objections, right? Because at some point we're wired to give objections. So I've solved the problems, and many of you, show of hands, how many of you, okay, I can't see your hands, but how many of you have done that, right? Like you solved all the problems and they're like, okay, let me think about it. And you're like, wait a minute. What do you mean think about it? See, that's when a closer's skills might come in really well. A builder is always building a business. These are businesses that stand the test of time. And just like we built a business from 2 of us in the basement of our house to a business that's serving 19 communities across 6 states with 500 plus agents, I might know a thing or 2 about building. It's about identifying your foundation. It's about creating process. It's about hiring the right people and serving the right customers. And if you will help them solve enough of their problems and bigger problems, you will continue to generate more and more and more revenue. So your challenge today would be to identify which one of those are you and where can you make a choice, make a decision today, because it is yours. Right? And I'm going to ask you, you can either be audacious or you can be timid. But remember the saying, timid salespeople have skinny kids. Nobody wants skinny kids. If you liked this, my 5 things, do me a favor, give me a like, give me a comment. If you know somebody that might benefit from this, give it a share. And until next time, I'll see you. Have a great day.